Sewing a shirt tail hem. The shirt tail hems are very narrow hems from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch wide that are top stitched close to the roll line. Learning to stitch a shirt tail hem will help you apply it on blouses, shirts, and on full garments like wide skirts. Objective: at the end of this class you will be able to stitch a shirt tail hem. Let us first familiarise with the tools and materials that you will need to stitch a shirt tail hem on a sample piece of fabric. For this purpose, you will need a cotton fabric,
pattern square,
measuring tape, straight pins, tailor's chalk, shears, a pair of small scissors, contrasting thread, iron box and sewing machine. Now let's watch how to stitch a shirt tail hem on a sample piece of fabric. Step 1. Measure, mark and cut out the sample fabric piece. Draw 10 inches times 10 inches square on a single layer of cotton fabric with the help of a tailor's square, measuring tape and a tailor's chalk. Using the shears, cut the 10 inches times 10 inches squares of the cotton fabric. Step 2. Mark a 3/4 inch line along the cut edge, fold the area and iron it. Mark a 3/4 inch line along one of the cut edges on the wrong side of the fabric piece. In the end, your total hem will be 3/8 of an inch wide. Fold the same cut edge over once, aligning with the chalk line, and carefully iron the crease to press it flat. Step 3. Fold the material again, pin the fold and iron it. Fold the material over a second time. You can take the cut edge in between the layers as a guide. The amount of material you fold over in this step should equal the amount folded up in your previous step. Pin this fold in place with straight pins and press the fold with a hot iron. Step 4. Stitch the fold. Start stitching with a reverse stitch to prevent the seam from opening. When sewing along the folded edge, pull out the pins as you work. Do not sew over them. Sew a straight line across the entire hem, positioning it roughly 1/8 of an inch or 3 millimeters away from the folded edge. Now end with the reverse stitch to prevent the seam from opening. Snip the thread with a pair of small scissors. Please note that we are using a contrasting thread for demonstration purposes only, so that it is visible, but otherwise one would use a thread matching to the fabric. If you choose, you can also give a second line of stitches parallel and along the outer edge. With that, we come to the end of this class. Let's recall what we have learnt. You learned how to stitch a shirt tail hem. Let's review its basic steps. Step 1. Measure, mark and cut out the sample fabric. Step 2. Mark a 3/4 inch line along cut edge, fold the area and iron it. Step 3. Fold the material again, pin the fold and iron it. Step 4. Stitch the fold. You have now learned how to stitch a shirt tail hem. Take our next class to learn how to stitch a narrow double folded hem.